All right, shalom, shalom. We're the Hebrew Israelites come out here week in, week out to prophesy the downfall of America so that the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans know that we are the true children of Israel, according to the Bible, to let Esau know that, to let the so-called white man know that he is Esau and that America is Babylon and that it will be destroyed in the Third World War, which is going to be a nuclear war. So with that being said, we give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakadash, giving double honors to the apostles and the elders of GMS whom taught me this truth. Salutes and honors to the elect brothers across the four corners of the world who are enduring in both truth and in sincerity. All right, so today, we're going to get into Isaiah 14, and, Lord's word is an edifying lesson, for the people. And this is Isaiah 14 and 1 that says, "For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob," Jacob being the 12 tribes, all right, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. We were called by different bywords. We were, taken from our homeland. Of course, the natives are already over here, but, we've been discontinued from our heritage. But we are the true children of Israel, all right? Matter of fact, let me get a precept real quick. Just bear with me here. Here we go. This is Hosea chapter 1 and 9. It says, Then said the Most High, call his name Lo Ami, for ye are not my people, and I will not be your power. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. It shall come to pass that in the place where it is said unto them, ye are not my people, there shall it be said unto them that ye are the sons of the living power. So yeah, we are Yashala, we are the sons of the living power. We are the Israelites, all right? But like I said, we've been called by all these different names and by these different bywords in our captivity here. So let's get back to Isaiah. It's Isaiah 14 and 1, it says, For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own lands, and the strangers shall be joined with them. Now the strangers are the other Israelites who don't know that they're Israelites right now. All right?
That's recording?
Yes, I am.
Can I say hi?
Nah, you're going to mess up the flow.
Yeah, I like this call. Sorry.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.
It says, and the strangers shall join them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. Right? So the strangers being not the other nations, all right, not the Edomites, all right, the strangers are Israelites, all right, in a Gentile state of mind. It says, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. All right, so matter of fact, let's get the one stick. This is Ezekiel 37, and just a sidebar. Just because you're cute don't mean you can jump in the camera. Women who are better looking than others, they think that they just got carte blanche, they can just do whatever. You should have seen the look on her face when I told her no. She ain't used to hearing no. And there's going to be a lot of no going on. All right, it's going to be a lot of people being denied, man, in these times that's coming. All right, you're not going to just have access to food and the water and the shelter and all of that. It's going to be a lot of people who get denied here. All right, life ain't going to just be this freaking breeze that it's been for a lot of people, especially for women, because women just skeet by right now, but they gonna skeet by that day, if you understand what I'm saying. All right, but this is Ezekiel 37, and I'm gonna start at verse 16. It says, Moreover, thou son of man, make thee one stick and write upon. I started 15. It says, the word of the Lord came again unto me, saying, moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick and write upon it for Judah and for the children of Israel and his companions. Then take another stick and write upon it for Joseph and the stick of Ephraim for all the house of Israel and his companions, and join them one to another unto one stick, and they shall become one in thine hand. Right, so you have the northern kingdom, the Latinos, the Native Americans, them, and then you have the southern kingdom, the Negroes, the Haitians, the Caribbean, Jamaicans, and bring them together. And that's what we're speaking about now, is to bring everybody together. All right, all the Negroes, the Latinos, the Native Americans. All right, if that's who you are on your father's side, then it goes back to the children of Israel. All right, so let's hop back in Isaiah. It says, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place. Now, that them is speaking about the Edomites. All right, because who runs the world? Matter of fact, it's bear with me here. This is Job chapter 9 and verse 24. It says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Right? Because the so-called white man runs the world right now. So that's why we're going to take him into his place. That's the him that he's speaking about, the one who is running this whole world. All right, and that's the overarching theme of this chapter, is about setting the Israelites in their rightful place and setting Esau, Edom, who is the so-called white man, in his rightful place. All right, and then all the other nations, they just fill in and get in where they fit in. But the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans will reign on top. It says, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. All right, so that's what it's gonna be. All right, servants and handmaids. Matter of fact, let's get Revelations. Revelation 13 and 16. It says, it's like here. Revelation 13 and 10, it says, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity, and he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. Right? So who led those people we were just talking about, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans? Who led them into captivity? It's not a hard question. Obviously it was the so-called white man. All right, so who killed them with the sword? Well, they must be killed with the sword. Who's been hung and strung up all across the South? All right, who's being shot up by the police? Who's Slovakia? Who's been shot up by the police? All right, who's been systematically oppressed for 400 years? The answer is not that difficult to understand. All right. Just bear with me here. It says, and they shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were. right? They led us into captivity, so we're going to take them into captivity. You know, when we watch my stand here. I want the wind to take it. Let's get another preset. This is Revelation 18:6. It says, reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works. That cup which she had filled to her double. So we experienced slavery from the so-called white man. 400 years, all right? Damn near 500 years. So guess what? It's gonna come back around, all right, on them. And guess what? Double. So they did us dirty for hundreds of years. So guess what? We're gonna do them dirty for 1,000 years. And then we're gonna get rid of them. There's gonna be no more need for them, which we'll get to that. But that cup that we drink says no, they're gonna have to drink from that cup as well. It's not just us. All right. The Lord is the Lord can only take so much, and the Lord has a specific time, hour, and date that He's going to come back. All right, and He's going to put hell on this earth, and raise up His children. It says, and they shall rule over their oppressors, and it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear, and from the hard bondage which thou wast made to serve. You know, we've been living hard, you know, here in America. You know, not just the Negroes, not just the Latinos, the Native Americans also. We've been, you know, downtrodden, depressed, you know, last hired, first fired, you know, paycheck to paycheck. You got ICE trying to deport us, you know, bills keep going up, the food going up. It's living in hell. We are in hell, right? This white man's heaven is a black man's hell, right? But the Lord is going to come back. He's going to redeem us. The scripture says that He's going to wipe away our tears, right? And that's what we're waiting on. That's what we're truly waiting on. That's what we truly want to happen. That's what we long for, what we hasten. In verse 4 it says that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how had the oppressors ceased? How had the golden city ceased? Babylon has been destroyed, right? This is the golden city. This is the country that Wycliffe, when he was in Haiti, thought that was paved with gold, like the scriptures say that the kingdom of heaven is going to be. You know, this is the place where you can come as an immigrant with nothing and build up to everything, right? This is Babylon the Great, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency. But guess what? It's going to be as if the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. That's what's coming here. You know, that's what's going to... The king of Babylon right now is Trump, right? So, and Trump is going to fight against this. Trump and all the other world leaders for that fact are all going to fight against it and try to overcome. It says the Lord had broken the staff of the wicked and the scepters of the rulers. You know, their strength is gone. When the chariots crack them clouds, all right, when the Lord decides that it's time, ain't nothing that nobody can do, ain't nothing that Trump can do, ain't nothing that Zelensky or Putin or any other of these world leaders can do. All right, their scepter, their rulership has been broken. All right, and the true rulers of this earth, Yasharahla, the princes of the power, all right, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are going to take their true position in this world. The elect of the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, because 2/3 of these people have to die on this side because they can't get it. All right, they're not going to conform, which was written. It says, he who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and not hindereth. Right? So who has been ruling the nations with a continual stroke? No, they say that let's look it up real quick. How many consecutive It says, so I asked them how many consecutive days of war has the U.S. been in. It says the United States has been continuously involved in military conflicts since 2001. There isn't a single definitive answer for a single period of consecutive days of war. Rather, the U.S. has been in a state of near constant engagement with varying levels of intensity and multiple simultaneous operations. So, war after war after war after conflict after war after skirmish after war after conflict after drone strike, just a continual stroke. All right, slavery was a continual stroke. Every day you got your ass beat. Every day you had to get out there and work from sun up to sundown. And if you ain't do enough, they beat you again. If you picked up a Bible, they beat you. If you learn how to read, they beat you. You look at a white woman, they beat you. You know what I'm saying? This is the continual stroke that we have been affected by, that we have been pressed upon us. So yeah, the Lord, when they said the Lord has had it up to here, He's had it up to here. Matter of fact, let's go back to Revelation 18. It says, Revelation 18:4, it says, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins. Now that's speaking about literally coming out of her and being beamed up into a ship. It says, and that ye receive not of her plagues, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High have remembered her iniquities. So these devils have done so much evil that it says that their sins have reached unto heaven. Yeah, the angels look down and they see it, but it's so much wickedness that has been done that we don't even know. Things that have been done behind closed doors, unsolved mysteries, all kinds of stuff that have been done to our people that we don't know. But guess what? Every sin has a consequence. All right, you're not going to just get away. What does the scripture say? Because sins against the evil work is not done, is not executed speedily. It is in the heart of the minds of the people to do evil, roughly paraphrasing. So just because you ain't got your ass kicked right now don't mean that there ain't an ass kicking coming. And the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai is going to put belt to ass. Verse 7, it says, the whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. And that's what we're waiting for, to be at rest. Have our own kingdom where rest is allowed, right? It says, yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, thou art laid down, no feller is come up against us, right? There's going to be a place of peace, all right, where we don't have to worry about chemtrails. We don't have to worry about GMO foods and AI taking our jobs, or, all of the bullshit of the fucking runaround that we get in this life, man. I don't have to tell y'all already know, man, because y'all experiencing the same thing I am and everybody else is. This is a piece of shit kingdom. It says, hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee as at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It has raised up their throne, and all the kings of the nation. So everybody's rulership is going to be overthrown. I want to get this in the NOT. It says, in the place of the dead, there is excitement over your arrival. The spirits of the world leaders and mighty kings long dead to stand up to see you. So that's going off. We're going to skip that. NOT don't know what it's talking about there. Verse 10, it says, all they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? And that's what these other nations are saying right now, because at one point in time, the U.S. had the bomb, right? Had the nuclear bomb, the Trump card. But now you got these smaller nations saying, "Are you become as weak as we?" Because Russia got it, China got it, the UK got it, France got it, India got it, Pakistan got it, North Korea got it, all right, Israel got it, Iran got it, South Africa got it. You know, all these different countries have it, so it's more of a level playing field. Now you can't just go around bullying everybody, you know, and you know, sending idle threats because they'll send them missiles right back at you. All right, and we're gonna see who can, you know, duck and dodge them, or we just gonna mutually. There's something called mutually assured destruction. You know, and that's what you know the World War III scenario is. That's what's really gonna happen, because the scriptures say everyone that bendeth the bow shoot at her, spare no arrow. So everyone who has these nuclear missiles are gonna shoot their missiles on America, and America's gonna shoot their missiles on the various places around the world, and everyone's gonna use their missiles, because after that there's gonna be no need for them. All right, that's the purpose. That's the reason why the first one was invented. That's the reason why the last one will be used. Verse 11, it says, thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vows, the worm is spread under thee, the worms cover thee. Right? Because the so-called white man is very high-minded. All right? And that high-mindedness is going to be his downfall. All right? Because he's going to try to put his hand against the children of Israel, against the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and the Lord is going to smite him down for that. All right? Along with, you know, many other reasons, you know, of course. But it's speaking right now about him being high-minded and believing that, you know, he's better than everyone. And you know, speaking about the worms and the decay, speaking about the decay of the society, and you know, the decay of his rulership. Is how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut to the ground, which did weaken the nations? You know, so Lucifer means light bringer. It's not speaking about the devil. All right, this is speaking about the illuminated ones. All right, which is speaking about the Illuminati, the people in high places who are pulling all the strings. How are they cut down? You know, how are they brought down to the ground? You know, which did weaken the nations. How did they weaken the nations? They control everything. They control the money. They control the education. You know, they control everything about society, and the Lord's going to overthrow them. Right? That's the only way that they can be brought down, because with their plans, they plan to make everything one, to have a new world order, you know, under their thumb, and you know, get rid of 7.5 billion people, and everyone who is still alive, or they're zombie slaves. You know, just total, you know, can't say it's bullshit, because that's their plan. But it's not going to happen. And as soon as they decide to enact it, and they put their hands on the Most High's anointed, all right, they're going down. All right, at that very time, that's when the Lord is going to, you know, put his plan into action. Verse 13, it says, for thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven, and I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. I will also sit upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. Right, and that sides of the north is speaking about North America, right? Because the majority of the prophets are here in North America. The majority of the chariots are going to be here in North America. All right, the majority of the destruction is going to be here in North America. So he says, I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High, going back to Joseph's dream with the 12 tribes being 12 stars. Also in Revelation, it says that the dragon drew 3 stars, which is talking about Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. So the stars is talking about the Israelites, you know, and he's sitting on them. How, you know, literally he's sitting on us. He has us in a low place in these ghettos and in the barrios and the hoods, you know, of America, South Central Caribbean, you know, South Central America. It says, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. right? And that's his mindset, that he could be like God. You know, he thinks that he is God. So because he has that mindset, going back to his pomp, you know, his high-mindedness, the Lord's got to bring him down. So matter of fact, let's get another precept here. Bear with me, trying to quote the scripture correctly. Shit. Here we go. This is 2 Thessalonians 2:4 says, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. Right? That's the so-called white man down to a T. You know, believing that he's the Most High and that, you know, he's sitting as the Most High, ruling that he's the Most High, that he makes all decisions, you know. You know, the Most High got chariots, he has a plane. You know, the Most High did all these miracles, but, you know, he's using his science to do his miracles. All right. We almost finished this. It says, yet thou should be brought down to the sides of hell, and to the sides of the pit. All right. That's death. All right. There's death to your kingdom. All right. There's, you know, you're going to be brought down. You're going to be humbled. All right. Because there is no mythical. 1 second. Hello? Yeah. Yeah, you come down and come back around. Yeah, I'm on the corner. You ain't gonna, you can't miss me. Yeah, I know. All right. Okay, yeah, come down. I'm on like 11 by the park. Yeah, I'm on the side. By that Orange Theory Fitness. Yeah. All right, yep. Yeah, I think I see you. All right. Finish up this last verse. Verse 16, it says, they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth tremble, that did shake kingdoms? You know, and that's what we're going to say when we see the so-called white man. Matter of fact, I'm going to just sum all of this up. It says that made the world as a wilderness and destroyed cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners. You know, it's speaking about the so-called white man. You know, he's done destruction all over the world, broke up families, caused chaos, you know, and he's going to have his day. The Most High is going to give him what he's been looking for. All right? It says that opened up not the house of his prisoners. You know, just kept us slaves. You know, and not like the traditional sense of a slave, but, you know, he overdid it. You know, for the affliction and overdid it. Park right there. Because all the kings of the nations, even all of them, lie in glory. Everyone in his own house. That's really all I wanted to get. So, the Lord has a specific time that He's going to come back and redeem a specific people, His people, the elected, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and everyone else, it's just bound to drizzle. So it's best if you are of the 12 tribes of these Latinos, Native Americans, and the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, just, man, get your mind right. Don't play with this, and take it serious, man, and count it a blessing that you're in the know. And with that being said, we give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakar, giving double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS. Salutes and honors to the elect, all the brothers across the four corners who are enduring in truth and sincerity, all the men and women who follow. Shalom.